All right. Let's get this out of the way first. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Tailboard Talks Firefighter podcast are solely those of the speakers, guests, and host, and do not in any way represent the thoughts or views or opinions of any other employer, partnership, or sponsor. The material and information in this podcast is for general information purposes only. It should be used at the listener's discretion. I brought the good microphones today.
Do we have bad ones last time?
No, just in general. There's good ones and there's bad ones.
All right.
These ones are supposed to be very good at isolating your voice and not the stuff around.
Not hearing.
Because personally, I'll do a lot of things while Sawyer cries.
Mm-hmm.
If Taylor ever listens to this and Nellie's crying in the background and we're talking for another 20 minutes, it's over.
Yeah. I think we're pretty good on staying incognito there. But
It's
we don't
over.
want to catch any strays from anyone else that might dime us out.
No thanks. So, dude, we're here in your house again, and there's a baby.
There's a baby
upstairs.
Mm-hmm. There's a baby at this kitchen table too. So at this point,
There's a baby. So you're feeling it, man.
Feeling
How old's Nellie?
She's 4 months.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Almost mobile. Almost rolling mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And getting a personality.
Mm-hmm.
And might be the first time. Maybe the first time when I was talking today, where you're like, "Yeah, I'm just pretty much brain dead right now. Just come on over and we'll talk about some stuff."
That's what it was. I didn't have a whole lot to. I'm just in the point where like I can't make decisions for myself anymore. I'm reaction mode all the time now.
Yeah, just playing goalie,
and
man.
rolling with it.
So what? A couple of things I thought of. First of all, like, how harsh are you going to be when you go back to work of guys who are critical of our benefits, our schedule, our job, or anything like that, because you're taking advantage of a pretty awesome benefit right now that we're afforded in Illinois.
Yeah.
And I assume across the country.
Across the country, yeah.
But Illinois is pretty great for benefits.
Yeah, no. So I'm on FMLA, which allows you for approved instances to have up to 12 weeks on a calendar year of time off, really without repercussion or question asked, as long as your doctor approves it, type thing. And so childbirth and bonding with the child falls under that. And so it's allowed me to use some of my sick leave for I'm taking about 3 months off, pretty much without worry or concern that and you don't have to follow up with doctor's notes or anything like that. So so it's been a pretty nice benefit to be able to just take time off and worry about stuff around here and not have to worry about, am I abusing anything or am I going to get talked to, or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of intermittently stopping back in. So like I'll work some weekends and some holidays. But as long as I stay in that rolling 12 weeks, then I can kind of come and go as needed. Yeah. On my end.
Have you been able to help many guys with that? Because at least one other person was asking me about it, and I was like, you got to go talk to Curt, because at this point
There's only one. Someone else had a baby right about the same time, and he was considering doing the same thing because we're kind of in the same situation. Both our wives are teachers, and so I did discuss it with him. I'll be honest, actually, I've had more people reach out and be like, hey, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, well, you're on FMLA. I'm like, well, yeah, here's the reason why. And so I think there's a lot of people who don't understand it. And so, really there's only been one guy that I know for sure has considered taking advantage of it so far. Yeah. I mean, the other thing for me too is like, I had a significant amount of sick hours available. And so I know not everyone has that same opportunity to say, I'm going to take this extended time off and just use your sick time for it. Yeah. Because the other benefit of FMLA is you can go unpaid on it and reserve basically your seniority and your benefits. You just go unpaid for it, but you're allowed to use your sick leave concurrently if you have it so that you can continue to get your same paycheck.
Oh, okay. I get it. So if you didn't use your own sick time along with it, you just be unpaid. But
right. So like Taylor, when she took off, she took 12 weeks off, but she got like 8 weeks paid for, and then she ran out of sick time. So she had 4 weeks where she was able to keep her job, maintain her seniority and benefits, but she goes unpaid for those 4 weeks.
Gotcha.
Because she didn't have enough sick time to use 12 weeks.
Man, talk about a subject where you could get some pretty bad advice on. because of people who aren't familiar with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
absolutely.
You could take that FMLA, be like, I'm good, and then not get a paycheck your first time.
You get a big chunk of paperwork, and to fill out. Kind of the benefit to me that I'm using it for is there's an opportunity to use it consistently. So basically from the start to the end. And then you can also use it what's called intermittently, which means that anything that you can tie back to services needed for the occurrence, you get to use FMLA for. And you basically just have to give your best estimate of what that sick leave is going to be. So you can say, I'm going to need it. If you had something else going on, your spouse or, parents were ill or something like that, I'm going to need this time to drive them to and from doctor's appointments. So intermittent will allow you to come to work for some days and then take time off if you need to, take care of them and back and forth. So
the second part is we discussed before you had the baby. You were like, man, I wonder how 40-something-year-old Curt's going to deal with a newborn,
Yeah.
And I remember saying, you'll be far more able to because of just what your life is now.
Mm-hmm.
Far more able to, far more comfortable doing it, but far less interested in doing it. Not interested in the baby,
mm-hmm.
right? But just the pure mechanical aspect of it and be like, oh man, that's how I knew I didn't want a third kid.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, Nathan was like, okay, this is tough, but this is what it is.
Yeah.
And then week 2 of newborn Sawyer, I was like, I do not want to do this again.
Yeah.
And even tonight, I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very distinct with me.
Yeah, 100%, and it's like with Sid, she's 10. And so basically we were doing whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted, and we just decided to stop that.
Yeah.
So, I would say, 100% that there's definitely there's definitely parts of it that you're just like, I could do with a break of this right now. Before it was a challenge. We're like, I'm doing this. I'm raising a human. And now you're like, this human's alive and I've done my job for today.
Yeah. The hypervigilance is gone.
And when's your mom coming home?
Yeah.
Because somehow you've developed a scream that just damages my heart valves as soon as you start doing it.
It's instant and it's the most scream that there could ever be.
Oh yeah.
In one second of no on ramp.
The funny thing is you can be anywhere else and people are like, oh, and I'm like, no, that has to stop now. Because
it's exactly the same as when you guys were over the night and Nathan was beelining and throwing himself against the counter to steal pigs in a blanket.
Yep.
And everybody's like, that's awesome.
Hilarious.
I'm going to lock you in the closet right now. Like, dude,
you
are being a torture right now. Well, good, man. Are you looking forward to getting off FMLA and going back to regular shift? Or are you like...
I am. I didn't think I would be the person to say that I miss going to work.
Yeah.
But I miss going to work. It's I enjoy being able to be home with Nellie all the time, but you're also you don't get a lot of, and I shouldn't say that. I'm still running training sessions and stuff, so I am getting adult interaction, but it's definitely, those things are not the priority anymore. And so even though I am, it's still all right, what do I have to do to keep her from crying for the next 5 minutes while I go do whatever I'm going to do, and then also try and maintain relationships with adults and stuff like that. So I'm excited to get back to work. I was also in a place too where I really enjoyed going to it. I had a good crew, and I think we've talked about it before, but I'm kind of over that hump of understanding what a cool job it is and that you get to go to a place with good benefits and allow it to be a good job.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get back.
Good, man. Do you think you could ever be a stay-at-home dad? And Taylor would be the primary?
I don't think so.
No?
I could do it.
I talk a big game about wanting to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it, I don't think.
No.
I have a hard time, to be honest. I have a hard time with the minutia of the schedule of being all right, she's got to eat at 7, 10, 1, and 4.
Yeah.
And so that basically, the rest of your day kind of falls in around that, and then in between there, you hope to get her to take a nap so you can do the dishes, or you can, but some of the stuff that I enjoy doing, like cooking, or taking the dog for the walk or anything like that, that stuff gets pushed to after Taylor gets home. And so then it's a struggle for family time, with Sid, and family time with Taylor, because Nellie has a quick bedtime. And so then you're trying to compress all that stuff into a short period of time, but still get the essentials done.
Yeah.
So I love to cook and I love to shop, which is weird. But basically now almost everything is pick up drive up orders from Sam's or drive up order from Meijer, you know, and it's like, it's fine and it works, but it's basically out of necessity versus creativity now. Yeah.
That leash will loosen also. Like I remember the first couple of times we could leave Sawyer in the playroom without having to watch her.
Yeah.
And it was like, we might as well, the hallway from the playroom to the kitchen might as well have been a flight to Mexico. It was like, oh my God, we're so far away.
Yeah.
And it was just a totally different thing. Like we can put her on the couch with a snack now and not like have to worry about her choking as much.
Yep. And we're not there, obviously. I mean, Nellie's just starting to roll almost a little bit, but there's almost no self-entertainment though, you know? So it's not like she can pick up a toy and like entertain herself for 3 minutes even with it. So basically if she's up, you're hoping that she's soothing herself, a bit, or you're trying to provide entertainment, bouncing back and forth between whatever else you're trying to do.
Yeah. So what are your workouts looking like now?
I'm still, for the most part, doing what I was doing before. I still go down to a training facility and try and get in what I can. And she just comes, I just put her on a blanket on the turf. And like I said, I do flybys periodically to try and soothe her. And I would say 80 to 90% of the time it works. And the rest of the time she melts down. I'm like, all right, guess we're going home. And maybe I'll swing a kettlebell at home. And then I don't do that. So I would say in the 4 months, like, I probably less than 10 times I've had to like do a kettlebell workout in the living room.
Nice.
And everything else I've still been able to try and keep pretty consistent at the facility that I train at.
Cool, man.
I am excited because obviously, but we're moving into a station together with a pretty nice fitness facility.
Yep.
And probably some good opportunities to work out there. So I'm pretty excited about that because even though like where I'm at now, I have that opportunity to do so. I know the times that we've been together, it's been much more motivating to go try and get a workout in together than it is to just be like, I'm gonna go over there and jump on the step mill or do something, I mean, our rooms are awesome. It's just sometimes a little harder without the environment there to motivate you.
I think our whole crew that we're moving into is going to be nearly centered around that.
Yeah, for sure.
Just not by like us forcing them or making an obligation, but I feel like it's just the crew that's built over there is going to be pretty awesome. Yeah, I think everyone over there is pretty fitness, pro fitness and enjoys doing it. So I think it'll be a lot of fun to try and put stuff together. Yeah, man. I think we should be able to get some. I know I texted you and you just ghosted me on it, but I think we should be able to get some pretty cool like team workouts together that, that we haven't. Just a little different from like 3 sets of 10. You know? And I think that'll be kind of fun to get some camaraderie going that way. And it will be. Yeah. And I'm putting in for sleds first quarter of the new year, so we'll have those tank sleds, the rolling ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a totally different world, man. A totally different world. What else, dad-wise? Feeling good?
Feeling pretty good. I think the other thing that you forget about, we always talk about the 4 pillars, and when one falls, the others kind of can slip down with it. Yeah. And so it's like, obviously sleep's at a premium, so during the week when Taylor goes to work, most of the time I'm on night duty, and some nights she sleeps through the night and other nights she's up 3 or 4 times a night. Yeah. And, but then it's pretty easy the next day to fall into like, all right, I'm just going to grab 3 granola bars out of the pantry. That's my lunch today. Yeah.
Definitely.
Because you're just trying to be efficient with time, and it's like, we were talking about it before this. I don't know when she goes to nap if it's going to be 30 minutes or if it's going to be an hour and a half. And so I'm like, all right, if I got 30 minutes, I got this stuff to do. Like, I'm just going to grab and go and stuff some deli meat down my gullet and chase it with a milkshake that looks like an iced coffee.
That's perfect.
And,
and here we are.
And and so then when your mother-in-law makes the best Christmas cookies ever and they show up at your house, that becomes a slippery slope around dinner time. Yeah.
I mean, anytime. We've survived off of their treats for quite some time now, to the point where I'll be really hungry later in the day and realize all I've done is pinch peanut butter pretzels out of their bowl and 4 cups of coffee through the day.
Yeah. And like, I started back up. So I use the tracker Macro Factor, which is a pretty easy nutrition tracker to use. And basically I just use it to monitor calories. But, you know, then it's like we go over to your house. I'm like, I don't mind if I do with these little mini hot dogs, you know? And I'm like, oh, meatballs, of course, you know?
Dude.
And then I'm like, just delete this day.
That's the other part is like, so we had a bunch of those little Swedish meatballs left over. And, I mean, you just fall into it of like, there's all, you know, Sawyer ate meatballs for 3 lunches straight because she was willing to.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess we're making a meatball sandwich out of this. So we cut up in a hot dog bun and sliced up some meatballs, and she had meatball sandwiches for several meals.
Yeah.
And it gets to that point where like, you should probably have a vegetable, but also you're eating this, go for it. And so then I'm like, well, I'll make one for myself then.
Yeah, don't mind if I do.
So then neither of us had vegetables for 3 days, but it's easy and they're willing. And at that point, their willingness and their compliance with it is like king.
Yeah.
So then you just go with it. You know, there's always like the things on Instagram of the moms trying to take away the guilt of like, oh, so it's the 5th night this week that you let your kid eat buttered noodles. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And that really becomes it of like, you can really torture yourself.
Yeah.
Going above and beyond trying to get them to eat things. Dude, they're little machines, man.
Yeah.
As long as they got enough coming in.
Yep.
They're
That's
gonna
what
use
Sid, you know, Sid, she eats pretty well, actually. I won't say she eats bad, but she can eat whatever she wants, and she's, you know, 4'9" and 70 pounds right now, and that's not going to change because of her activity. But luckily she's a good eater. So if we're doing salads or doing vegetables, she's good with it.
Yeah.
You know, and what's really actually kind of helped a lot, and I don't do it every day, is like I actually write down like at the beginning of the day, like I make a list of like stuff I want to try and get done, and I write down like the menu for lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
And that helps me when we get there, when I have to like, when I'm tired of making decisions of being like, all right, I said I'm going to make a salad and you know, this and hard boiled eggs. And so then I do it, you know, versus just being like, all right, just grab it, you know?
I was falling into talking to Katie about that last night with just a schedule in general. Cause we're to the point now where like dead space for them is just time to destroy stuff or just whine about needing a snack and a movie or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so we got the sticker chart for Nathan and like the chore charts forming because he's just getting to understand like cause and effect stuff. But yeah, like I've never been much of a structure person.
Yeah.
I just don't, I'll make it. I have so many planners and like journals and stuff with outlines. Yep. And then as soon as it is out of sight, it's gone. I might as well have never bought it. Yeah. But something overarching that we can refer back to, some kind of schedule, like 9 o'clock is go outside or go in the basement and play time. Like that's all it has to be. Yeah. But without that, it's just like we just stare at each other till one breaks and then he's gone. Yeah. Like what are we supposed to do? And if you don't initiate, dude, he's idle hands, man.
We've been pretty good with Sid. Like so, she's a pleaser too. She's such a good kid. But like we basically, for her chores and stuff, we have like a big 3. So it's her laundry, her bed, and her bathroom sink basically. And so like those are the big 3 that she has to kind of like check pretty much all the time. And then she has like things that I notice, and that's like a list of like 7 or 8 other things. Like I noticed Sadie's nose is all over the sliding door, so I got to clean the sliding door. I noticed her bowls are dirty, so I clean it. So it's not like a rigorous thing that she has to do. She just knows that there's the big 3 that she's got to check on, and then the other stuff, if she notices it, she does it. And it works pretty well for her.
So knowing my wife, how do you and how do Taylor do with once she does it? Do you go redo it, or is it a struggle of like, I know you did this and you did a good job, do it again? Or how does Taylor handle it? She seems like she might be a stickler for that too. Like Katie,
if the job is incomplete, she goes back up and does it again. Taylor won't redo any of Sid's stuff for her. I think that everything is fine that she does because she's daddy's girl, and
because it's always been.
So yeah,
because like Nathan's getting to the point where he's not capable. Yeah. So we'll tell him to do something, he'll do it. But Katie's like, I almost don't want to even let him do it because I'm just gonna have to redo it. Yeah. I'm like, well, you don't have to. Right. You're choosing to, but she does have to, like in her brain.
Sid's old enough now that anything that we give her to do is within her capabilities of doing, and it's just whether or not she puts the solid effort into it. And then we'll just be like, nope, not good enough. Yeah. I shouldn't say it. Taylor will say, nope, that's not good enough. And I'll be like, yeah, get up there and do that. Yeah. Like, I love you.
But do it with love in your heart that Daddy gives you. She is a fantastic kid, and she is a pleaser, except for when Nathan asked her whatever question.
He was bothering her about ears, and she goes, yeah, we all have got them. And
he's big on the look at me thing. Yep. He's big on the look at me thing.
So we said that was funny for Sid, because Sid's, for the longest time, has always been the young kid there. That we've always been like, yeah, she just does good with older kids and adults. And then at your place, she was the oldest, and it's just been not a situation that she's normally in. So it's just cool to kind of see how she interacted there.
Yeah. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Nathan's always been the younger kid that kind of forces his way into everything. So like when we went over to the pool party in the summer and he was launching himself down the slide, he turns into the cannonball party favor for everyone. Just a great kid to be around. So it works both ways, man. Well, that's awesome, dude. And we're going to keep giving you stuff, and you will not leave our house for the next probably decade without taking some sort of toy,
that's all
clothing.
right, 'cause you feel like they're not getting any bigger, and then all of a sudden you're trying to like button a onesie, and you're like, get in there, stuff it in there. Come on.
Have you made the mistake of going up a size errantly and letting Taylor see that? Because I did that one time where I just grabbed a onesie or something out of the drawer because Sora was a mess, and I put it on, and then we were going to play, and Katie came downstairs and was like, what is she wearing? Yeah. And I was like, it's an outfit. She's like, that's a 6T, not a 3T or whatever the infant size is. Yeah. And that caused a little ruffle because she was not ready to see her baby in that big of clothing yet.
I haven't made that mistake yet. However, I'm pretty systematical down there, whereas there's one drawer that has her clothes in it that fit right now.
That's what
and if Taylor has it in that drawer, then it's going on. So if it's too small, that's Taylor's fault for leaving it in there.
Nice.
And if it's too bad or too big, it's Taylor's fault for leaving it in there too big. Dad's just lucky he's getting it on there.
Yeah.
No, our game right now is that her poops require a size 2 diaper, but we still have some size 1s left. So we're playing the Russian roulette of like, I think she can do a size 1 right now. And
so like after she poops, size 1s go on for pee.
Yeah. Yep.
And then into the minutia of it, which I still mess up to this very day. Have you ever, this is almost like the USB thing. You never put it in the right way the first time. Mm-hmm. Have you ever buttoned the 3 snaps on a onesie correctly the first time, or have you misaligned them every time? I've never done it.
I've never done it, and this is the only reason why I don't button the middle one. It's wasted time.
Okay. Also,
first of all, I hate those snaps so much. Okay. I hate them so much that I can't stand to button all 3 of them. So I only do the 2 outside ones.
How many times have you put the onesie on, put the shirt on, pulled the pants up with the onesie undone? You have to take the pants off, redo the snaps. Dude, every single
infrequently,
time.
My bigger one is getting it over her head, and then it's like stays rolled up by like her shoulders, so you can't get it pulled down because it's just stuck up there, and she's like, So yeah, that's the worst one right now. So then I'm like rolling her back and forth, like trying to get this stupid onesie down.
Yeah, dude, I agree. We shouldn't be staying home. Parents, you're right. Yeah. Oh God, dude. All right. For like, what are we at? We're at 22 minutes already, which is beautiful.
I got some usables out there for people.
It's great, dude. Great frame of reference. Yeah. That's the clean stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I sent you, just like I sent every expectant father, the same picture of Nathan's explosion that we thought he was done going to the bathroom. So I was changing his diaper on the changing table, and he launched one like a goose. Ooh, and it made a streak on the changing table, and then because everything's placed certain places, it not only dumped like a line of goo and poop on the wipes, but also his new diaper and also the edge of it and the floor. So everything I needed to touch in the next 30 seconds was covered in poop. Yeah. And it was just like, so I took a picture, right? Yep. And then that's a picture of, not a warning, because I don't like that. And I hate the guys who are like, oh, just wait and see. Like, it's going to be like, this was one of the funniest things ever to happen. Like, you could not plan this projectile poop any more perfectly. Yep. So it's like you have this fun thing to look forward to, and it is fun. Yeah. It's goofy.
So I didn't tell you this one, but same thing. So downstairs, Nellie's changing pad is on top of her dresser. This was pretty early on, middle of the night. And so like she woke up, and I try and keep the lights dimmed so that she doesn't wake all the way up. Well, then she starts shitting. So I have her by pooping. Sorry. I have her by one leg, and that leg is like the leg. So she's facing the wall now, up on the wall, drips down, because babies, when they're on milk, there's not solid, drips down behind the dresser, so it's down there everywhere. There's a wicker basket with stuff in it. So it hit that too. Wicker. Yeah. So So I bring Nellie up and wake up Taylor. I'm like, hey, your baby pooped. Take her. And that was another nice way of saying it. And so then I'm down there like trying to clean. Of course, I don't turn the lights on, you know. So I'm down there wiping. Taylor goes down there the next day. She's like, yeah, you didn't clean anything up. I'm like, I did a good job. And she's like, there's poo everywhere. I'm like,
big circles on the wall.
I'm like, sorry, I'm not as good a cleaner as you, you know. So yeah, so that was probably like that was within the first 3-4 weeks, I think. But yeah, I'm like. Yep.
It's a great time, man. Oh, dude. I had another story flash in my head, and I can't remember it because that's exactly the fun stuff that happens.
I also, babies, they'll pee when they want to, and so every now and then you got the diaper off and they decide it's time to go.
Yeah.
And so then you're holding them up, like trying to not let the pee get to them. So I have a couple like junk towels, and they're like, these are the pee towels. Once she starts going, you put it down.
Yeah.
Is there ever a pee towel in there when I need it?
No.
So I was going to be like, hey, when you use a pee towel, replace it with a clean one. Well, I had to use it. No one was down there to help me. I'm like, well, she's got pee all over this onesie now. So,
dude, well, I told you have you tried my trick yet? I mean, you're wearing a hoodie now. Have you tried she's a little bit young for it still.
She's a little young for it. It's still in my mind, but I have not done it yet.
Stick that leg in the kangaroo pocket.
Yep.
It's free hands. Free hands. And I was going to go over, because I have to pretend like everything I do is special. I was going to go over the diaper wrapping technique into a triangle. Do you wrap them into a triangle or a square?
When you fold it up?
When you got poop in there?
After it's done?
Yeah.
So I do like the take it out, wipe with the clean part to get your first wipe done.
Yeah, but you got a loaded diaper here now.
Yeah.
And you're getting ready to throw it out. Oh, you wiped the diaper?
Yeah. So the front part of the diaper is the first wipe.
Okay.
And then that comes off and it's kind of folded on top of each other. The wipes go in there and then it gets full. So I would say it's closer to a rectangle than it is a triangle.
Blow your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do a diagonal with the first Velcro. Or no, yeah. And then the next one goes straight across and turns into a paper football of poop.
Okay.
But it's sealed on all sides.
I like it.
We'll go over it.
All right.
I'm sure she'll wake up full in a minute
probably.
here. And I'll let you do the dirty work and guide you through. Like, push that over there and do that stuff. All right. Let's spend 5 minutes on a topic. We'll come back to last minute and or regular time firefighter gifts, not gifts. What are you looking for this year? What are you hoping to get? Nerdy stuff, regular stuff.
Gotcha. Jeez. Well, my gift we talked about last year. My go-to is I always give beef sticks.
Yeah.
So I go out to the butcher, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do. Usually I do 2 pounds. I might change it up to like a pound of beef sticks, a pound of bacon, or something like that. But that's usually my go-to. Everyone likes that, so it's easy enough. Receivables, I'm not. This will surprise some people, but I'm not really a gadget person for the fire service. So I'm not really ever like looking to be like, hey, how can I make this easier? I just deal with something harder.
And we have a lot of tools already.
Forever. Yeah. And so if somebody has something that they that they think is a good trick, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But so a lot of that stuff is well received just because it's never on my radar to be like, hey, you know what would make this job easier? Aside from those toe straps that we looked at the other day, but
that's a whole new thing though. That's a whole new project altogether. I am gadgety, but I also don't think of them.
Yeah.
Like I got a bag full of gadgets.
Like I see people's radio straps and they got like cool stuff on there, chalks, lights, cool knives.
Yeah.
I don't have a radio strap, so I don't have anything, but I just stick it in my back pocket still and loop it around.
So what would you do if someone gave you a radio strap?
I would love a radio strap.
Yeah.
I actually ordered a radio strap last year and didn't get it.
The leather one?
Yeah.
Like the department one?
Yeah. And I've always looked at like, I don't know, they have the ones that they're not just leather. They got like the reflective, whatever they look like, our safety vests and stuff. I've Googled those a few times and then just got sidetracked by something else, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it's another instance of like, but it just goes in my pocket.
Yeah.
Or on your belt clip or whatever you use when you do it. I am a gadget guy, so usually I default to that. Like, single battery AAA flashlights have never been better. And little junk, like last year was shove knives and flashlights. Yeah. There's all kinds of like clamps, door keepers, wedges, stuff like that. It was like little plastic U ones, things like that. But dude, the possibilities for fire gadget stuff now are endless.
Yeah.
Then you get in like the leather stuff, which is a whole nother world that opened up in the past couple of years. There's like cards now. I guess it's a thing. It's just like this, and it's made of leather, and it has something on it, and you stick it in your helmet rubber band.
Okay.
As a decoration.
Okay.
As a form of flair. Like, I don't know, dude. Right. There's just stuff everywhere.
Sweet.
There's stuff everywhere.
Capitalizing on firefighters spending money on anything.
Yeah, but I also like when other stuff crosses over into the fire service. Like, I have a radio strap that has a Velcro patch here, I think. Mm-hmm. It just has a blank on there. I can't remember. And then like one for your name or something like that on it. Okay. But there's all kinds of patches that say like, that are from the military, but don't have to be. Yeah. So it says like, stop screaming, I'm panicking too, or something like that. Or like,
nice.
Or like just little like stuff like that. Yep. I like that kind of stuff that can go on it too. I don't need like a I fight what you fear patch on my radio strap.
Yeah.
Or,
our day starts when your day ends, or whatever it is.
Still making house calls or whatever. What's the worst? Now, most of the people that you worked with are gone now, so I think this is a fair topic. Yeah. What's the worst thing you've ever gotten, or the most thing you're like, this was lazy, or this is a...
People love that stupid 4-section popcorn thing. I don't know why that always becomes a thing. I think when people are just at Menards or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, here's a holiday tin of popcorn. Everyone loves popcorn. And it's like, the stale, cheesy popcorn.
I was just going to say, enjoy your cheese popcorn leftovers for the next 3
months.
months.
That's the worst one. Don't ever come with that thing.
Yeah. I got one from a lieutenant one time that I worked with him for a couple of years, but he was not a very personable person. Mm-hmm. And he was giving out gift cards. It was just kind of his thing. And in the time I worked for him, I went on like 2 Boundary Waters trips, and we bought our first camper and blah, 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 blah. And so he gives one of the other guys like a Gander Mountain. That's how long ago. Yeah. Here's a Gander Mountain one. Yep. I know you like the outdoors. And he goes to me, he's like, I really don't know what you like. Here's one to Red Robin.
Yeah,
like,
perfect.
Okay, thanks.
I've had that too, where it's like, I'll drink coffee from anywhere, but people probably know at this point that I do mostly Starbucks. And then someone will be like, I know you like coffee. Here's Dunkin'. I'm like, it's out of here.
I'll take it. Which we went there the other day, and we got whatever we get. And Katie was like, I can't believe how inexpensive it is at Dunkin' Donuts. I was like, it's still not cheap. Yeah. But Starbucks is just so crazy. But you're getting
like the worst effort at Dunkin' Donuts. There's like, here, get out of here.
I think so. We got lucky one time. There's one down here in front of Target, naturally. Mm-hmm. And she must have been a disgruntled Starbucks employee, because we ordered something and it was crazy good. Oh, like, yeah. Incredible.
I've had good luck at that one over there.
But immediately I was like, you're not going to be here for very long. Yeah. Like, you're going to, it's like getting a new awesome employee. Yeah. You're like, crap, you're going to be gone.
The hard thing with Dunkin' is, like, for me, it's not cheaper, because I go like, yeah, let me have a medium iced coffee and a blueberry cake donut.
And in that medium iced coffee,
and then in the way up there, I'm like, you give me a cinnamon roll too, so then I've spent $7.
You got to get on the app, man. I get all kinds of rewards now, all kinds of perks in the app. Yep. They're not a sponsor, but they should be. Dunkin' Donuts, if you're listening, which you are, feel free to sponsor the show. Dude, I think that was a good catch-up session. Yeah. 33 minutes of fun. Mm-hmm. And then no screams.
No screams.
Just confirming that we're not muffling them with the microphones. There's been no screams from up top. So we're all good.
This is usually if I have a good chance to nap, it's right now.
Yeah.
So this is usually your long one.
Was this a convenient excuse of like, can't work out today. Got to spend my free 30 minutes doing
I actually scheduled my whole week around not working out today for this. So.
Perfect.
Now I just get to skip tomorrow.
Maybe next week too. You never know. We plan it right.
Yep.
Dude, awesome. All right. Well, we'll catch up again soon. Cool. Maybe when you come back to work and we're at the same station for the next 2 years.
Taylor's on winter break coming up too, so
got some time.
Free time during that, yeah.
It's gonna have to be here. Katie's got a play date at the house today. Mm-hmm. 5 different kids.
Ooh, that's
it's
bold.
five. So Nathan's 4.5. It's 5 pandemic babies, loose in the house.
Did the parents drop them?
No, they're there.
Okay.
But when I left, they were all huddled around the sink, like at the party. Yeah. And the kids are, it's like a preschool classroom again. Like each kid has 5 toys in a little pod that they're playing with. Yep. And then Sawyer's sitting in the middle of 3 kids with her snack, like holding court. God, dude, what's going on here? So, all right, man. Thanks for hanging out. Mm-hmm. And we'll hang out for the next while so I can show you the diaper thing. We'll get out of here.